Got it.
Hey, everybody out there in YouTube land. Welcome back to another episode of Tier List Land with Putty and JD and me. I don't have a name. Today, we're talking about Spider-Man villains from the live-action films. And
Films.
yeah, we're going full Irish here. The live-action
He'll
films.
learn to speak English one day.
I mean, that's technically better, more Englisher.
Mhm.
So
I speak Canada good.
He is. I speak very good Canadation. So we're gonna jump right into this. And we're going to bring up tier list land. JD will be your tier master for today because last time we let Putty be the tier master, he put everything in S class and didn't let us choose.
Oh, whatever. Did you even announce what we're doing today?
It just said
You do know now.
We don't know. Spider-Man villains with the live action movies.
Live action Spider-Man movie villains. Best ones, worst ones. Let's go.
All right. We'll go, even though they're not in here, we'll go in the order of the movie releases. So I'll pick and choose if that's cool. We're going to start with the first. We're going to start with the first Spider-Man movie villain. We are going with Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin.
Well, Willem was good in this film.
Mm-hmm. And... Willem was good in this film, yes.
And Putty, where do you think you would put him?
Okay, so here's where I'm kind of conflicted because I actually feel like Green Goblin has been portrayed twice by two people pretty well. Depending on who played it, but this is probably the best one. So in
You're
my
talking about
eyes,
Dave DeHaan here?
Yes, I actually liked it.
He's actually portrayed by three people. Three?
Well, no, I'm not. I didn't say being betrayed. I said portrayed good. We're gonna get into that later. Anyway, or at least I think. But I actually feel like it's A, if not S. The problem is I only feel like one of these villains is actually maybe possibly two of them are possibly S. The rest of them I'm kind of like, but we'll get in that section. So I say
A. Okay, so I'll take your A, and I'll yell at JD. Who's the best? What's the best part of Spider-Man 1?
Willem Dafoe.
What's the best part of Spider-Man No Way Home?
Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe.
S tier.
Yeah, I agree. Willem Dafoe's S tier. Putty, you shouldn't be upset because
he's not upset.
I actually if JD didn't agree with me on S tier, I would have been so happy in A tier. But the fact that I wasn't expecting anyone to agree.
No, I agree. Like he was the best. Okay, my rationale behind this is the first time we're seeing Spider-Man in live action. Yes, the costume was a little goofy, but Willem Dafoe is at his all-time, like he basically played the Joker in this movie.
Well, yeah.
He's the Joker we deserve, but not the one we needed right now.
And he is somewhat of a scientist himself.
He is. He also went, which is very important.
But yes, I agree.
Okay, Putty, tell us what you thought.
I mean, yeah, I still agree with that. I don't think he'd be the highest of tier S, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Actually,
he might not be the highest of tier S.
I mean, it depends on if we're going to the next villain or not.
We're going to the next villain.
Be in the highest
well, then I can automatically say it. Doc Ock, S,
Alfred Molina.
Top tier. Alpha Molina as like that was Doc Ock. He is Doc Ock. When you think of like certain people playing those characters, that is number one.
He was born for the role.
Yeah, all Spider-Man villains, number one in my eyes. Outside of one other guy that was actually really good, just in a really bad movie, but we'll get to that later.
I really hope it's not going to be something that we're going to talk about. That's going to be something that we're going to talk about, but we're going to talk about it when we get to talk about it.
Okay,
we're going to get to talk about it. But I agree. This is arguably probably second or third greatest Spider-Man movie.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be the best.
It was until we got No Way Home.
And Far From Home, I think, is also better than that.
Yeah.
And also the animated movies are both better than that, probably.
But we're not talking about animated. So with that, we're gonna go into Spider-Man 3. Venom, portrayed by Topher Grace. Topher Grace was completely miscast in this role.
Can we add a tier? Can we add a tier? Can we add just change D to doo-doo.
Yes, please.
Now
add
Jesus, this is why we don't let JD do things.
I got fat fingers.
I put him in doo-doo. Put him in doo-doo. Put him in straight
doo-doo.
I'm sorry. It was the worst who I hate.
He's not the worst villain. We're about to get there.
Well,
Sandman.
Sandman. Okay, I'm gonna talk now because Putty keeps getting to talk. I want to turn. I think as an actual villain, he's like a C, but I think as a character, he's an A because he has so much depth of the character. And I think you even get a little bit of that in No Way Home, but the problem is he ends up getting pushed to the background in No Way Home.
And see the problem, but see the thing is casting too. Like even with casting, like as far as the actor, best actor to play this role too. That's why I feel like it should be an A. I feel like it was a really good character. The movie itself is shit because that's why like
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you said it. I think you said C.
I said he's a C tier villain. He's an A tier character.
Yeah, I agree with the A tier character. His character arc, the story of redemption, even how he started off in was it No Way Home? How he just wanted to get home to find his family.
You know what? Go. Sorry.
He didn't want to be a part of it. I think he deserves to be an A.
I'm telling you right now, if Venom was not in that movie, we would have got a fourth movie guaranteed.
I agree because the thing is, the whole symbiote idea, they really ruined it. They should have just took symbiote altogether out of the
They
whole
should have just
equation.
introduced it in that movie and not had it be the villain yet.
Yeah.
Well, even in that situation, if you introduce it, we don't want emo Peter Parker. Come on now, just introduce it.
Yeah, but there's no guarantee that the fourth movie would have gave us that.
Yeah.
Well, true. Yeah, good point. Yeah.
There was talks about Bruce Campbell being Mysterio for the fourth one.
Well, yeah, because he was in the first movie as
all three. He was in all three movies.
But which one was
he was a different character in every movie. But one of them, his name tag said Beck on it, I think.
Yeah, that's the one. The second one.
Beck. Who's the other Mysterio?
Oh, I can't remember.
I thought it was Adrian Beck because remember he was actually
Quentin Beck.
Quentin Beck. Yeah, sorry. They actually remember he was the one holding the door when Peter was supposed to come in late for the thing. Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, he's not a villain, so we're not going to talk about it. Macho Man Randy Savage should be on this list. He would be S tier.
I agree.
So the third movie had three villains. Mm-hmm. The third villain of this movie was the son of the Green Goblin himself, Harry Osborn.
Okay. I'm going to say this as Harry Osborn, as far as like the first and second movie, I loved him. When he turned into their version of Green Goblin, I didn't like it. I don't think he did it right. I feel like he should be C tier.
See, when you were like, oh, there's another guy that should be argued for up here, I was hoping this is the guy you were talking about because it's definitely not the other guy. This is my thing here. I'm not going to factor in the Harry Osborn from the first two movies. I think his the story arc that he has is very good. In terms of he has a good reason to become the villain. He has a good redemption arc. The only thing I don't like is the way that he played the character in this movie. So like
it was a little goofy.
I don't know if I don't really care where you guys put it, but it can't go higher than a C for me.
I'm down for C too.
I'm a C as well.
Because it's not like as stupid as Venom, but his acting is so hammy.
It was over the top. He was definitely channeling his best friend Seth Rogen. Yeah. So with that, we are going to go into the next series of Spider-Man movies, the Amazing series with Andrew Garfield. The villain of the first one was the Lizard. He was the main villain. Bad movie, excellent villain.
Bad movie. That's a solid movie. It's a 7 for me.
Okay.
I would put this at B though. As far as villains,
yeah. First of all, I like the first Amazing Spider-Man. I think it's one of the better Spider-Man movies. It's not like in the top tier, but it's definitely not a doo-doo. I think I liked him as the villain. I actually really did. The only thing is now that I've gone back and watched like a lot of YouTube videos that really break things down, his reasoning for being the bad guy makes no sense. He wanted to grow his arm back, like so he became a super villain. Yeah, but I mean, I thought what's his name, Rhys Ifans or
Rhys Ifans, yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was good, and I like the character. I think it's a B. I think Putty's on the right track.
I agree with that. He is definitely a B.
I think Putty's been hot today.
Yeah, ooh baby. Second, there's Amazing Spider-Man 2. We had Electro and we had Shocker.
Okay.
No. Shocker was in.
Shocker's in the first one.
Oh, first one, yeah.
Homecoming, yeah.
Okay. We had
this movie.
This
is
two
these three.
Yes.
And
that and Rhino, yeah. So Electro, I'll go ahead and put it out there. It's a C for me. Electro, I don't feel like they did a good job with him.
Okay, here's what it is for me. This is the worst character ever in a superhero movie, period. because they wrote, for some reason, they were like, well, we saw how bad Spider-Man 3 was, and we're really big fans of Batman and Robin, so we're going to get the most Arnold Schwarzenegger as of Ice guy.
Okay, if you're only
Counting
talking
the
about
new
Amazing Spider-Man 2, yes, but he was so much better in
He's one of the best parts of No Way Home.
I agree.
So that's where I'm conflicted here.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Yeah, because are we counting No Way Home villains in that sense too? Because that would be the same thing. Well, that's why you guys put them on top at S, and I guess in that tier.
Yeah, but I mean, that's also one of the reasons why these two are as high as they are too, is because they were also good in No Way Home.
If Thomas Hayden Church wasn't stuck with a bad movie in that 3, and then also got pushed to the side towards the end of No Way Home, I think he would have been in maybe even an S. But
what do you guys think about low B or high B for him? Then?
No, I can't. I think that it's like Amazing Spider-Man 2 is so bad, and he's the worst part of it.
Worse than Rhino?
I can't even put him past James Franco.
Oh wow. Okay.
But you guys can argue it up.
Well, no, it doesn't matter to me. The only
I want to put him above James Franco only because he was better in No Way Home.
I'm down for that.
I think his No Way Home got him out of doo-doo for me.
Yeah. Okay. Rhino was in this one, right?
It has to be doo-doo because he's not even in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm done for that. Okay, now here's the thing.
A little better than Venom, though.
Okay.
I want to go into this with the Green Goblin from Amazing Spider-Man 2. That Harry Osborn, that development, and that Green Goblin is so good in my eyes. Like the way he portrays the villain itself when he goes full Green Goblin is amazing to me. Like it feels like the old animated series and everything like that. So I feel like it would be around a low A or something like that. What do you guys think?
I feel Campo, but I feel his character was more Hobgoblin than Green Goblin.
Yeah, I can agree with that too. But I mean, it still was really good though. That's not going past the actual performance.
This is the thing. I think his acting was good. I think the character was really poorly wrote, and his motivations don't make any sense. So it's like I'm conflicted because like I don't think he gave a bad performance as the character, but I don't think the character was good.
But if we're also looking at physical, like plot wise, written
physical,
he
doesn't look anything like a Green Goblin.
No, he looks more like
you're losing
more like
already.
the Hobgoblin or the Demo Goblin.
Yeah. But that's what I loved about it. They at least went in that form with it. Because you got to think, look at Harry Osborn's Green Goblin. Then we had the really, really cartoony version of what's his name from the first Spider-Man movie. So
but that worked. Well, no, I feel that worked.
No, this didn't not work.
That's what I'm trying to say. I think it's actually
in a
good.
Bad movie, and the characters doesn't make any sense why he's doing any of these things.
Unlike Thomas Hayden Church, who was in a bad movie, but at least there was reasoning behind it. He was the best thing about that movie.
He's mad at Peter because of why? Because his father did something to his father. Like I'm so like, okay, so you're gonna kill everyone in the city?
No, I agree. But see, at that point, especially in that picture you see right there, I mean, you couldn't tell me that was a great. Well, even if it's considered Hobgoblin, even though it is Green Goblin,
it's definitely
really
I don't
good.
Know, it's definitely Green Goblin, but his acting is like Hobgoblin, I think.
Yeah, that's what I was just.
But it's I think I'm in like a B.
See,
maybe
I'd put him behind Lizard.
I think he might be better than the Lizard.
Really, I like the Lizard better.
I mean,
I can stick with that. I can stick with the Lizard being better. These are two characters. These are two Amazing Spider-Man characters that I felt like didn't get the appreciation they needed because they were in bad movies. Which even though Amazing Spider-Man is not a bad movie, but you get
you know what though? I will put your Green Goblin ahead of the Lizard only because the Lizard was an absolute joke in No Way Home.
Okay, makes sense. Okay.
All right. Homecoming. Vulture.
So I'm mixed on this one. See, the thing is, I actually had no problem with Michael Keaton's performance, but at the same time, it didn't feel like the Vulture that I'm used to in the comic books, and I guess maybe that kind of hurt for me. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think, as terms of a character, I think it was a little better than the comic books, but it's nothing like the comic books.
Nope.
But I kind of like, you can't have like a 70-year-old man.
True.
But Adrian Toomes is a 70-year-old man, though.
Yeah, that's what I mean, right? But you can't have literally like a guy that looks like 100 like Adrian Toomes does in the original run. And you also can't go with that newer run where he was like a young kid that was really like
Yeah.
weird. I do think Michael Keaton was great. I'm not the biggest fan, like from a personal standpoint. Critically, I think it was a fine movie. But as a person, Homecoming is one of my least favorite Spider-Man
I was gonna
movies,
say Homecoming is the worst of the new 4.
for sure.
I agree.
I just, but even compared to the other ones, like if you ask me like which ones I like personally, it's low for me. If you're gonna ask me like critically, which it's in the high mid, but I think he's probably the best part, Michael Keaton.
It's very hard with this because the thing is, but it's really weird to think of the first Spider-Man movie in a trilogy of movies being the worst one, actually, and that's the problem.
But
with
it's a
this one.
quadrilogy, isn't it?
There's no fourth one yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's what makes it feel weird, is because he's not a bad villain compared to a lot of other villains we see on this list. I don't know where to put him, but the problem is because the movie wasn't as good as the second and third one. Homecoming and No Way. No Way Home and Far From Home. So I can't really pick. I'm gonna just let you guys.
Why don't we just put him?
I'm higher, way higher than that. I would say he's above Thomas Hayden Church.
Oh, that high? Okay.
Really?
So now you guys can figure out where you want to put it after that.
For me, it goes behind Tom Hayden Church.
Yeah,
I really
same here.
I feel like Tom Hayden Church really did that character well, as far as
his performance too was much better in terms of like
and
actress performance.
I think for me, we didn't talk about this, but like I'll do it to you right now. The thing with Michael Keaton that I think why it's in an A, and it's just one scene that automatically you'll be like, okay, I get it. The scene when they're in the car together, it's fucking well done that it's almost like that scene alone for me has him in an A. Let alone he's pretty good for the rest of the movie. His character arc makes a lot of sense. He got screwed over by Shield and like all those agencies that came in, and like he has a reason to be upset.
But just as a villain itself, as far as like in the outfit and everything, that's where it loses me. And but I agree with you. That scene is so great. It's like it's actually one of those scenes where you sit there and go, "Oh man!"
I was expecting him to turn around and go, "I'm Batman."
I'm Birdman.
Birdman. He is Birdman and Batman and the Vulture. They all fly.
They all fly.
He's typecasted as either villains or superheroes.
He's an Aryan typecast, right?
Yeah,
Is that what they're
exactly.
called? Avian.
Aryan. White supremacist.
I mean, he is white.
Well, you know what? He was the hero long enough to see himself become the villain.
It's true.
That's true.
And by the way, there's rumors that we're getting a Sinister Six movie again.
Which is funny too, because it's a progression. Think about when he was playing Batman, he was all good, but then towards Birdman, he was kind of like, I don't know, man. I'm kind of on the crisp, I'm drunk and everything, and I'm gonna shoot somebody. Then all of a sudden he goes straight bad guy. So there's the story arc with all.
But then he became Batman again.
But listen, you want to know? This is like that. That's the character arc, right? So he was Batman, doing Batman-y things. Then he became Birdman, okay,
doing birdie things.
And as Birdman, his daughter was Emma Stone. Emma Stone was in Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield.
Yes, she was.
Then he became Spider-Man, okay, and then he was in the new Batman movie with Ezra Miller, who's basically like bootleg Andrew Garfield. The circle it seals itself.
And so Andrew Garfield was also in an episode of Doctor Who.
There you go.
Which I watched the first episode. Fantastic.
Yeah. Okay. It's on Disney, right?
Yep, it's on Disney. I highly recommend watching it.
Okay. Well,
this was my first Doctor Who. So anyway,
it's a good jumping on point. You can
jump onto Doctor Who at any point as long as you jump on when a Doctor changes.
I'm aware. Yeah. I'm aware of the Doctor in general because of geek culture.
They do enough explanation in this episode as to the reason why it's David Tennant again that you don't need to go back and watch those David Tennant episodes to understand the concept.
Wait, so he's the Doctor again?
Yeah.
Remember when I was telling you he's going to be the Doctor again? And you're like, no, he's going to be a different character, but he's just going to be on the show.
No, he's the Doctor again.
Okay.
Only for 3 episodes for the 60th anniversary, which is this year.
Number 1 Doctor of all time.
No, Tom Baker. The guy with the scarf.
I'd rather have Mark Calloway.
I bet you guys want the female one, huh?
Yeah. No. I definitely don't want Matt Smith.
No. He's better in Game of Thrones.
Anywho.
But Matt Smith was better as the Doctor than he was in Morbius.
So I think before we do
So
this,
Morbius gets us back on track.
So I'm gonna actually take over and say I think we should do Shocker first, because if you remember, Shocker's actually in the one with Michael Keaton. Remember?
Yes.
So I actually am gonna say this right now. We didn't get much time with Shocker, but comparatively to even Electro, I still feel the Shocker is better. Like the brief moment we have with Shocker, him using the gauntlets was actually kind of fun. You know, in the bus area, the parking lot, it was actually kind of fun. So I actually like the Shocker, and I feel like if they would actually gave him more time, we could have had him more fleshed out.
I mean, we might get more from him.
Yeah, you never know. So I actually kind of liked it. I would put it. Yeah,
I can agree with that. I like Blizzard better.
Woodbine, so that automatically makes it higher rank.
So
good with that there.
I'm good with that.
I could care less. The C tier doesn't matter to me at all.
Mysterio, our final Spider-Man villain of the show.
That's hard. This is hard. I'll let you guys say things and then I'll decide.
Oh, I was gonna let you guys say things. I guess JD, it's you. What do you feel?
I feel the character itself was good. The motivation behind the character was good. I just feel Gyllenhaal's performance was a little lackluster.
All right. Okay. I feel like his performance was good, and I liked everything that he was doing. I just, at the end of it, like, I even like how evil he got. I just didn't understand truly why he was doing anything.
He wanted to be the next. He wanted to be the next Tony Stark.
So this kind of puts me in that same thing where it's like when you start up the movie,
which is almost the same kind of concept as what's his name from Iron Man 3.
So here's my thing with this with Mysterio. Towards the end, I actually kind of liked him. It was the beginning parts that I actually did not like.
I mean, you thought he was all goody-goody?
Yeah, I actually didn't feel for it because we already knew he was going to be a villain. So it doesn't give, because the thing is, I guess if you've never seen a Spider-Man cartoon, then you're like, okay, maybe he's not the villain. But even the way he's dressed in the beginning gives off that villainy vibe. So I really couldn't fall into the character. Like the movie itself was good, but it's just I couldn't really feel into the, you know what I mean? I feel sympathy for him in that situation because I knew something was going to turn into villainy. And so I was always sitting there looking like, what is it? What is it? What is it? And then when he started focusing on the glasses, that's when I was like, oh, he really wants those glasses, but I have no understanding of why. So that's where it hurt the villain in my eyes. Because as far as like when he's Mysterio itself, even when he's the good guy version of it, some great scenes, but that has nothing to do with Jake Gyllenhaal. That has all to do with
and probably one of the most comic accurate costumes we've gotten to.
Those scenes where he's fighting that fake villain, the monsters and everything, is so freaking cool. Like they pulled off exactly the animated series feel of it, where I was just like, oh, this is like the old cartoon. But then I was sitting there with you know, Quentin Beck. I was sitting there like, oh, but there's something here. I don't know what it is. Because I know I'm familiar with the character, I know something bad's going to happen, so I'm looking for it. But it made it to where I wasn't feeling him as where he was at that point. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I mean, that's why it's kind of mixed for me, like where it's down like middle B, lower A. Like I don't know, it's really weird. This one's hard for me, so that's why I need your guys' input in that.
I think there's no way he's in the category with Dane DeHaan and the Lizard.
Okay,
he's got to be an A.
Okay.
I just think the character, the movie was too good.
In the middle?
Honestly, I think he's behind the Vulture. I think the Vulture was really good.
I'm good with that. Very good with that.
Because like, I don't know. I thought it was a really, really well done. It's like I said, it's just like, think of the fact of this. We don't even know anything about multiverses yet. Okay. This is like our introduction movie to multiverses. He knew
about the multiverse.
About the multiverse. He said, I'm from a different universe. I'm from this universe.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one. No, he didn't establish 616. He established, it was Doctor Strange, that movie, that the multiverse established.
No, this was just them talking about the multiverse. This is the first time we actually got more of actual dialogue in it. Which is really funny too, because if you think about it, with No Way Home, that movie, they knew what the best part of the original movies were, which was the villains. And if we look at our top three in general, they're literally the original movie villains that came back and actually had better shots in the No Way Home movie, especially the Green Goblin. Oh my god, both between his first movie,
that was a great, to quote a wrestling term, that was a superb heel turn.
Yeah, exactly. Like they did so great with him.
You know what? The Mysterio arc is literally directly pulled from wrestling.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's such a wrestling influenced situation where he's like a fake good guy and he wants to be on the tag team with this guy and he lets it ride out and then he just turns on him.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
so
exactly it.
we talked about this earlier. Let's just go ahead and put this on the list, even though it's not there, and say where we put it. Okay, and tell me, are you ready to put Bonesaw up there? Where would you put Bonesaw?
Bonesaw's S tier.
Bonesaw is ready.
I've got
Oh,
you
yeah.
for 3 whole minutes. Yeah.
I thought you were talking about my 3 holes. Bonesaw is an S tier.
Yeah, he has to be.
For those that don't know, Macho Man Randy Savage played a character named Bonesaw, which was in the comic book. That actually was the wrestler he wrestled, and it was just so nice to see Macho Man play Bonesaw, wrestling against Peter Parker, just like in the old comic books.
Macho Man apparently loved every moment of it.
I wish I could have been there just during filming.
That was right when his rap album
now,
was coming
my
out.
question to you to pose: Amazing Spider-Man series. Was it that one or was it? Where did they tease Matt Gargan?
Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh, that name sounds familiar. Yeah, I think
that's Scorpion.
Too.
No, that was in No Way Home.
Was it? Right. He was
at the end of the movie.
Right? Because they were mentioning Matt Gargan. It was played by Michael Mando.
So here's a question for you guys, okay? Actually, I've always been curious to hear y'all's
It was Homecoming. Michael Mando was
said that out loud.
Based off of all movies combined. Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, and this is counting the Spider-Mans as well. Or what's his name? I'm forgetting the name now. The new Spider-Man. Tom Holland, thank you. Which Spider-Man series would you say is best? Like, what would you rank them at all 3?
What are we talking about here?
As in, like, for example, as a whole,
the new one.
So you're saying that Tom Holland's all his movies would be best compared to the others?
Easily.
They're much.
Okay, so then see, for me, I would say I'll agree. Tom Holland's number 1. Tobey Maguire is number 2, and then Andrew Garfield number 3.
Well, because Andrew Garfield was only in 2 movies, and one of them sucked.
And one of them was a Tom Holland movie.
Yeah.
Well, we're not counting that one. That doesn't count. It only counts for Tom Holland.
I don't know. I guess you could count those for the other ones as well if you wanted to look at it that way.
Well, then I still think Tom Holland wins because he doesn't have Spider-Man 3 or Amazing Spider-Man 2.
That's true.
So I want to ask you a question. Since we're asking questions, since we all just literally did this right now, there's a whole argument going on right now where Miss Marvel girl Iman Vellani or whatever the hell her name is has almost like very easily in conversation proved that the MCU is not Earth 616 and that Kevin Feige, everything he's saying is wrong. And when they ask the Marvel producers and stuff, they don't want to talk about it because they can't argue her points. So she says that the MCU is Earth 1999999. And she has with you can watch any video, she's proves it very easily. And there's no argument against her from the people at Marvel. They can't. Whenever they ask Kevin Feige,
what did she say? I have no idea what she said.
Well, you can watch a video later, but
okay.
Do you think that it's a possibility that this really is Earth 1999999?
Absolutely.
And that
the only reason why we established that it was 616 is because Rachel McAdams said it in Multiverse of Madness, but maybe she just labeled that universe and not really that universe.
How the hell did Rachel McAdams know?
That's what she called it.
Remember, she called it whenever they picked up.
This is universe 847, and yours we've classified as 616.
But that could have been this classification on her end too. You know what I mean? And again, that we don't know how they're doing it in that form. So it's a matter of which one it literally is. And I guess if she proved it.
If you see it, you will watch a video after, okay? But
okay,
if you see it, actually, we'll make JD show us between videos because we're filming lots of videos. But it's one of her points was in a written article was that they labeled it 616 just to get people to just tell them it's 616, like get off our backs. But like if you look at the facts, it's 199999999999999. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Let us know your tier list rankings in the bottom if you want. If you don't, that's okay. But subscribe. And if you don't subscribe, I'll send Putty to give you a hug. Wait, no, that's a good thing.
No, not necessarily.
Okay, bye.